So, Kenny, yes, thank you for joining me on this latest episode of my podcast, An Interview with an Architect.
No problem, it's a pleasure. Yeah.
Kenny is one of the directors of Studio RBA, Liverpool-based architectural practice, architect himself as well as director of the practice. Kenny's going to talk about the practice, history, where they are right now, where they're going, but also Kenny is one of the co-founders of ArchAdemia, which is a platform for students, basically. So, Kenny, welcome. Over to you. Tell us about stuff, basically.
Yeah, firstly, thank you for having me on. Real pleasure. To get straight into it, managing director at Studio RBA Architects in Liverpool, based in the Albert Dock. We've been going 7 years. Now it was our birthday, 7th birthday in April, so not long gone. And we do all sectors of work. The practice has been quite successful. We had a tough time during COVID, really good work in the Liverpool area, and then we've got a few few projects dotted about nationally. But majority of the work is in and around Liverpool. Residentials are our bread and butter. But we have got some industrial schemes and stuff as well.
How do you find then? Sorry, how do you find speaking to other practice directors? They tend to be, you're based in Liverpool, like you say, most of your work comes from Liverpool. How do you then get work further afield? Is that word of mouth, or how do you, just from marketing generally?
Word of mouth. So the biggest way we win work is through our relationships with other consultants. So if you're doing a good work of delivering projects with, your M&E, your project managers, your planning consultants, you find that they then start to recommend you to their clients elsewhere. So that's basically how all of our work has been won over the last 7 years. Is just, we're very pragmatic. So every consultant that we work with usually enjoys working with us, and we strip the ego right back and just make sure that we're doing a good job on time for clients, and then so they tend to recommend us to everyone of their clients, and we get jobs that way. So
all size and scale of residential work as well, from new build from scratch to just the standard extension and all the rest of it. Or?
So standard extension, no. It's minimum project value, would say, is now about 750k to $1 million.
Okay, big stuff, yeah.
And then so just to give you a quick idea, one of the projects we've got at the moment, the Grafton, that's 90 units. Baltic 2 on Norfolk Street in the city centre, that's 93 units. Telegraph House is 72 units. So we've got over 200 units currently being developed from the studio, and we're only a 4 now in the practice. We were at one point we got up to 12 team members, and when we had a few sort of very, very large scale residential projects on, and we've just tapered it right down. As I say, after COVID and stuff, we tapered the team back, still able to deliver on really big projects, because everyone is a senior architect who's with us. So it's really nice size schemes and very manageable for us, and it makes the day just a lot more enjoyable than, I think, just my experience is when we got to that size of 12, it was becoming more and more difficult to manage, and your day job was less enjoyable. Whereas now, working on great projects still of a nice size still, but just with the 4 of us, it's much easier to manage, and you get much.
What's the setup then? Is you and is it Adam, you two that are directors, or is there 3 of you?
And Jack, there's a third director, Jack Johnson, as well, and then we've got Stephen Ball, who's an associate with us as well. So everyone's in a really senior role. It's probably quite rare that, but everyone's at a level. And what we found was everyone's really, really capable and can manage their own projects. So rather than having juniors and stuff, sometimes can get in the way, and the management of that. So it keeps us really, really efficient. Yeah. So everyone's really, really senior, and it works. It just works for us. Yeah.
Seems to. And obviously your other platform we want to talk about, which is brilliant. And I'm only fairly new to seeing it. And of course, hopefully this platform now, this interview will help to promote it further, because I think it's really very good.
Yeah.
We want to ideally roll it out across the country for you, get everybody knowing about it. It's ArchAdemia. Do you want to tell the listeners about what that is and what it's about and stuff?
Yeah, so this is our passion project, ArchAdemia. Essentially, a few years ago, when we were going through some recruitment issues and stuff, we started to realise that taking time to train part ones and part twos out of university, and basically essentially even fully qualified architects who'd been on different softwares to what our practice used coming over. It was taking a long time to train them, and it was making us quite inefficient. So we started to just record our screens every day in all the softwares we were using on projects, on live projects that we were doing, and then we'd cut that up into content that was digestible and narrate over it, and it served as a training platform in-house at first. So a new starter would come and we'd say, right, if you've never used Revit before, jump on our Revit course that we had created in-house, learn it, and then that get them up to speed faster, made us much more efficient. What we found was the students that were with us on the year out, the part one or part two, were like, oh my God, I wish I had this from day one of university. This is amazing. So we realized then that there's a business here, there's business potential. So we started ArchAdemia, and now we've got over 30 courses on the site. In all different types of software, and not just that, also like practical courses, so like how to design in practice. Will we be able to drop links in here and anywhere on the podcast?
Well,
so
won't we?
So
we'll put links straight into this, and again in the comments when I post it, I'll link it all back in as well. So
fantastic. So click the link and have a look. So there'll be something on there for everyone. And yeah, so now we've got over 900. I think we're on 996 subscribers we've got on at the moment who are using our courses. A lot are students, but there's also a B2B offering here where some London practices such as urbanist architecture and a couple of others around the UK are using us as their training platform now for their staff. So they buy a company license and then they allow their staff to have access to the platform.
Kenny, look, thank you. That's been a really good chat that we've had, explaining your history, your background, and what you're looking to do with your future. I'm enthused about it as you are, and I'm sure that we'll get hopefully some more people visiting ArchAdemia on the back of this. And thank you for explaining it, and thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to an interview with an architect. Please remember to subscribe and follow for more.